Hi, good morning. We are doing another series of Weathermatic technical support. I'm John with Weathermatic. Today we're going to talk about programming for the SmartLine control series. This includes an SL800, an SL1600, and an SL4800. The controller itself, we're going to go around the dial. We're going to talk about each stop on the dial and what it does and how to program it. Next up on the SmartLine controller is the advanced menu. Within the advanced menu, there are many features that can be utilized. First stop that you will see is the tests. Within tests, we're going to measure the outputs of the controller in 5 different categories. First one will be the zone output. What we are measuring is the milliamps that the controller is seeing to the output to the solenoid. Use the next button to get to the outputs function. Then use next and back buttons to scroll through master valve and zone valves to view AC amp reading for each valve. An open or short message indicates a problem with a zone. If you have more than one valve on a zone, the SmartLine controller will measure total current for the combined valves. Use the up arrow button and battery will flash. Use next button. You will see the DC voltage reading for the backup battery in the SmartLine controller. A minimum of 7.5 volts is required to power the display. Another way to check the life of the remote programming battery within the controller, turn the dial to the advanced menu and look at the icon. If it is partially or full, your battery strength is high. If the icon is empty, either the battery is dead or it is not hooked up in the back of the controller. Remembering that the battery is only used for remote programming when the panel is outside of the box. To install the battery, open the panel, remove the 9-volt battery door, hook up the 9-volt battery, replace the panel door, close the panel door, and we will now see the icon is full, indicating the battery strength. To test the remaining battery life of the weather station batteries, turn the dial to any of the auto adjust positions and the battery icon is the remaining battery life for the weather station. Push the up button. This function displays output voltage at the transformer. Normal reading is 24 to 30 volts AC. Push the up button. This feature will create a chatter for a selected valve as a convenient method of locating buried valves. Use next and back buttons to scroll to the valve you want to chatter. If you are not utilizing a master valve, you must turn off the system water pressure at the manual cutoff valve or water meter for the locator feature to work. Pressure must be off while attempting to chatter a valve. The SmartLine controller will automatically turn off master valve output when a chatter test is initiated. Next up on the advanced menu is the review. First item to come up under review will be temp data. In review, push the next button for temp data, which provides the daily high and low temperature readings in Fahrenheit from the SLW weather station for the past 5 days. Press next to view daily high and low readings for the prior day. Continue pressing next to view up to 5 days of temperature history. Push the up arrow for next run. Next run is the total amount of run time auto adjust has calculated for each zone based on ET deficits and auto adjust system audit information entered onto the auto adjust side of the dial. Next run is calculated and revised each night at midnight, 365 days per year. The cumulative run time will carry forward until the next scheduled watering cycle. Next run times will return to zero after each watering cycle. Next stop on the review is the run soak. This function applies only to the standard side of the controller and not to auto adjust. Auto adjust does it by itself. From review, push the up arrow to set to auto adjust run soak review. This feature allows the user to review expected run soak schedules that will occur when the controller is in the auto adjust mode. Press the next button and zone 1 will show in the display. Press next again and run with a time will show. This is the maximum run time the controller can do in auto adjust before going into soak. Press next again and soak will show in the display with a time. This is the minimum time the zone must soak before it is ready to run again. Auto adjust run soak times can be changed by adjusting the soil and slope settings at soil type on the programming dial. The times are also affected by adjusting the sprinkler type settings on the dial for precipitation rate. Next up under review is the deficit. That is the amount of water that needs to be replenished from the last cycle. It will give you up-to-date information on how each day's accumulation of ET will be applied to the next cycle run. From the advanced menu, under review, press the next button and the up button to get to deficit. Deficit is the amount of water displayed in inches that needs to be replaced for your plant material due to water loss through evapotranspiration, evaporation from soil, and transpiration from plants. Your SmartLine controller will calculate the water deficit each day at 11:50 p.m. based on data communicated to it by the SLW series weather station. The water deficit will continue to accumulate until the next scheduled watering cycle and will return to a zero reading when watering is finished. When Advanced Functions is displaying deficit, use the next and back buttons to view the deficit for each zone. The next or back button will also turn you to the deficit level. Deficit is only available for review when you are using auto adjust mode. Note, if the dial is in the system off position at midnight, all auto adjust watering deficits are cleared and no new deficits will accumulate until dial is moved from system off position. Next up under review is the total run. This is for total run of auto adjust or total run for standard mode. It is counting from zero forward and the total run of the controller. It is something that can be reset to zero to meet your needs. In the advanced menu, under review, press the next button and then the up button to get to total run. Total run is the total run time for each zone since the date shown. You can review total run for either the standard or auto adjust modes. After you select total run with the up arrow button, use next to view the date when total run accumulation began. Use next again to view the total run times for each zone. You can use the next and back buttons to move through the zones. After you go through all the zone positions, use the next button one more time to take you back to the total run screen. Under the Advanced menu, under Review, press the Next button, then the Up button to scroll to Clear Total. Clear total is used to clear and reset the total run time for each zone shown in the total run menu. From the clear total menu, press next and the display will show keep. If you want to clear the total run time and reset the accumulation date, press either the up or down arrow button to display clear. With clear showing in the display, either press next or back, or turn the dial to complete the clear and resetting. This feature will stop accumulations on a zone after 255 hours of cumulative zone run time. Next up under review applies only to auto adjust and gives you the ability to clear the deficit. By clearing the deficit, you will set the replenishment of moisture to 0. Under advanced menu and under review, hit the next button and then the up button to scroll to clear def. To clear deficits, press next. Use up or down arrow buttons to select keep or clear. Press next or back to exit clear deficits. Next stop is rain delay. That gives us the ability to globally suspend all programs on the controller from 1 to 7 days. It will effectively remove the deficits for the controller and resume after the rain delay globally has expired. From the advanced menu, push the up button to get to rain delay. The rain delay features allow users to globally suspend watering operations for all programs for a selected number of days in either the standard or auto adjust watering modes. Push next to rain delay arrows to select 1 to 14 days for water suspension. The watering blackout will automatically be cleared from the SmartLine controller after the assigned days have expired, and watering will resume at the next available start time. Auto adjust watering deficits will reset at 0 and will not resume accumulation until the delay has ended. Next up with our advanced features is the SLW delay. Under advanced features, press the up button until you reach SLW. SLW incorporates 3 features. Delay. The selection allows the user to reset the factory default of 48 hours to a delay period of 0 to 99 hours. Rain selection is an on-off toggle to override the SLW rain sensor features for selected zones. Factory default is on. Freeze selection is an on-off toggle to override the SLW freeze sensor features for selected zones. Factory default is on. Next up under review is minimum deficit. Minimum deficit. From the advanced menu, push the up button. This feature requires that a zone deficit be greater than the minimum deficit settings in order to run during a scheduled program. The setting is global for all zones in auto adjust. The range for the global setting is 0.00 to 0.50 inches. The factory default setting is 0.15 inches. Next up under review is our sensor position. In the advanced menu, push the up button until you get to sensor. Sensor is an on and off toggle to override the sensor terminal's rain freeze functions on selected zones. The factory default is on. Auxiliary sensor port is located within the back panel of the controller marked sensor. To adjust whether a zone uses the sensor, push the next button and scroll by zone whether the zone is on or off. Each zone can be on or off. The factory setting is on. Next up under review is our Run Soak under Auto Adjust. In the Advanced menu, press the up button till you reach Run Soak. Setting manual Run Soak. The purpose of Run Soak is to break up long run times that often cause wasteful runoff. The Run Soak is programmable for each program if you are using the standard watering mode. Note, if you are using Auto Adjust, these inputs are not used since the Run Soak period is automatically calculated. Using the Next button to access runtime allowed before the zone watering pauses for the specified soak time. Use Program button to select program. Use up or down arrow buttons to set runtime from off to 30 minutes. The default is off. Use Next button to access soak time required for water to infiltrate into soil before zone watering is continuing. Use the up button and down button arrow buttons to set soak time from 1 minute to 2 hours in 1 minute increments. Next up under review gives us the ability to set daylight savings time by day and by month. In the Advanced menu, press the up button until you reach daylight savings time. This feature can be turned on or off to match your need. The ability to alter daylight savings time schedule has been provided to allow for future changes in the schedule or to match your specific location's needs. The default daylight savings schedule has been set to match the current United States schedule. Next up is the ability to adjust the factory setting of 3 program starts under number of starts. From the Advanced menu, press the up button until you reach number of starts. The number of starts feature allows you to select the number of program start times visible on the display. The factory default is 3 and you may select up to 8 start times. Pushing Next, you can change the setting between 1 and 8 start times. Next up is the zone-to-zone delay, to give the ability to put time between the opening and closing of valves within the system. In Advanced function, put the up arrow until you get to zone-to-zone delay. This function allows users to set delay times between zone starts for use in systems with slow closing valves or pump systems that are operating near maximum flow or have a slow well recovery. Press Next. Use the up or down arrows to change the value. It is adjustable in 1 minute increments from 0, which is the default setting, to 30 minutes, and adjustable in 10-minute increments in settings from 30 minutes to 3 hours. Next stop is the master valve zone delay, which will give us the ability to time the opening of the master valve and the first valve and the master valve and the last valve when closing. In the Advanced menu, press the up arrow to get to Master Valve Zone Delay. Master Valve Advance Open and Delayed Close. This function allows the user to set a delay between the opening of the master valve and the opening of the first zone valve, as well as a delay between the closing of the last zone valve and the closing of the master valve. Note that the factory preset for this setting is 5 seconds. Using the Next button to enter the menu, select the setting for the on delay or off delay by pressing Next. Use up or down arrows to select the delay time. Use arrow buttons to set on delay time from 0 seconds to 1 minute in 1 second increments. The off delay can be set from 0 seconds to 3 minutes in 1 second increments. Next up is the master valve zone function that tells us which zones will be utilizing the master valve pump relay switch within the controller. From the Advanced menu, press the up arrow until you reach Master Valve Zone. This feature is used to indicate which zones will use the master valve or pump start relay. Use the next button to set each zone on or off for all zones. Use the up or down arrow buttons to select on or off. Use next button to select the zones. If an unused zone is turned on and activates a pump start relay, the pump may overheat or cause a pipe to burst. To prevent operating a pump with no flow deadheading, make sure all unused zones are set to off. Next stop is the clear program, giving us the ability to clear just a program. From the advanced menu, press the up arrow to clear program. This feature allows the user to clear all programmed values specific to a selected program. All zone run times and daily start times will be set to off. Watering days will default to days of the week, all on. Seasonal percentage will equal 100% for all months, and run soak will be off. Omit times, omit days, and auto-adjust settings are not reset when clearing a program. From the Clear Program menu, press Next, and the display will show Keep. Use Program button to select program to be cleared. Then press either up or down arrow button to display Clear. With Clear showing in the display, either press Next or Back, or turn the dial to complete the clearing of the selected program. Likewise, with Keep showing in the display, either press Next or Back, or turn the dial to keep the selected program. Next stop is Clear All. In Advanced menu, press the up arrow until you reach Clear All. This feature is similar to Clear Program, except that it clears all user program data for all 4 programs. Turn the dial to Advanced Functions, use an arrow key to select Clear All, press the Next button, and Keep will show in the display. Press the up or down arrow button to select Clear. Press Next to clear all programs. The display will show clearing to confirm that all programs have been cleared. Next stop is About. That gives us the ability to see the firmware that the controller is running. In the Advanced menu, hit the up or down arrow to get to About. About will tell you the version of the firmware that the panel is operating. Version 3.1 or higher is necessary to operate SmartLink and the SmartLink network. If you have a firmware version prior to 3.1, contact Weathermatic Technical Support or your local Weathermatic representative for the version of that panel. Next stop is Default. In Advanced Features, once the controller has been programmed, go to the Advanced Function menu and use up or down arrow buttons to select Default. Press Next and Store will appear on the display. Press Next one more time and wait several seconds. The display will show Complete to confirm that you have successfully stored your program. If the controller has had the operating program changed and you want to return to the stored program, go to Default, press Next, and one of the arrow buttons. The display will show Retrieve. Press Next, and the display will show Complete to confirm that the default program has been restored as the operating program. Next feature is Grow In. In the Advanced menu, press the up or down button until you reach Grow In. Grow-in feature allows the installer or user to set up a grow-in temporary watering program for new sod or landscape, then automatically retrieve the stored program after the grow-in setting of 0 to 99 days has been reached. 5 easy steps to set up grow-in. Set up your long-term program as desired. Go to the Advanced Function menu and use up or down arrow buttons to select default. Press Next and Store will appear on the display. Press Next one more time and wait several seconds. The display will show Complete to confirm that you have successfully stored your program. Then reprogram Grow-in. Pressing Advanced menu, press up or down. To grow in, push Next and up or down to select the number of days for the grow-in program to run. The number of days remaining in the grow-in period can be checked at any time at the grow-in selection in Advanced Functions. The factory default for grow-in is 0 days. That concludes a review of the Advanced feature menu on the SmartLine controller.